let's try this again. I don't know what happened. I mean, I've already unpublished. I'm going to double check real quick. My audio was not working. I think it's working now, but let me just go through YouTube real quick, and see if the audio is working. Let's see. Or if someone is in the chat and can tell me. It's in the chat. Oh, okay. Can tell me. Well, it's working on Twitch. I just heard myself on Twitch. So it's working on Twitch. Because no audio is no good. I don't even know what happened, because I think I have a theory on what happened. I think when I updated, I think it probably just did something. And that's probably what happened, is something in the YouTube, or I bet you the update. I don't even know if I'm on. Am I streaming? Oh. Can I hear me? Okay, yep, alright. Everything's working, yay! Sorry about that, guys. I had been talking for like 9 or 10 minutes before I realized that there was no audio. I don't know what happened, but anyways, let's get going. So as the title suggests, we're going to talk about traveler influencers acting badly and more bad news for the airlines, but I did want to go into some non-related news about that first, which I've already... Okay, so one of the stories was Whispering Canyon on Disney World property. It's on the Wilderness Lodge. They're going to be shut down from May 12th to the 21st. They're just doing some renovations. And so yeah, so if you wanted to go to Disney World those dates, and go to the, Whispering Canyon, which is such fun theming. If you don't know, they're kind of like the restaurant that they kind of make fun of you. They kind of jibe you. When we went a few years ago, gosh, I think it was 23, they put like a really bad crayon drawing of like the castle and said the view from Magic Kingdom. And when they sat us down, they were like, here's your view of Magic Kingdom. And so it was very nice. And the food was actually pretty decent. I mean, they just had platters of food and, it was good. So, yeah. So if you're going to Disney World and you wanted to go there during those time frames, unfortunately, you're going to have to make alternative plans. This isn't really news, but the one aspect of the news is that Epic Universe, they release one-day tickets sales. The grand opening is May 22nd, which I will not be there. I am going to let, I'm just going to let the swarms, go to that event. I don't know when I'll get down to Universal. I definitely do want to see it. Like, it looks brilliant. I mean, like, everyone always comments how amazing Disney Imagineers are. Universal are no slouches. They do an excellent job. I mean, the Harry Potter, parts of the park are just phenomenal. I mean, even the other parts, like, I really like the Simpsons area. And, it's great theming. So the Epic Universe, it's going to be epic, to use their terminology. I definitely I do want to go, but not right now. I'll let it chill a little bit before jump in to that universe. But yeah, so I'm actually like, I'm looking forward to see what all like the influencers and YouTubers videos are of that, because I'll just watch from afar. So yeah, so talking about influencers, the influencers are acting badly. So a US influencer, I don't even know if she's a travel influencer per se. She was caught grabbing a baby wombat. Don't do that. Don't grab animals, especially wild animals. Apparently, like, she's like she's not a travel influencer, but she's a outdoor enthusiast and hunter. And I heard she also like took another animal, like out of I don't I swore I saw another video that said she like grabbed another animal, but it sounds like I don't know. I can only find the wombat video, so I don't know because you know sometimes like Facebook and social media will start posting stuff. But yes, do not grab wild animals on your travels. It's not nice to them. You can stress out a lot of animals, and also some animals, especially in Australia. I mean, I know wombats aren't like venomous, but apparently they have that. I mean, just don't. Just don't. But I guess she left Australia because she pissed the Australians off. You don't do that. Don't piss Aussies off. They get a little crazy. So yes. The other influencer, let me find my story real quick. Johnny Somali. Yeah. He found out that Koreans don't mess around either. Apparently, like, he, like, entered these, like, I heard he entered the sentencing judgment, like, pretty much drunk off his butt. Obviously, this is a kid, or not, he's not even a kid, he's a grown-ass adult, but obviously this dude was not raised properly, and it's just, I don't know. It just, people like him just drive me crazy. You know, like, he has no remorse, and I think they, I think he's facing up to 5 years in prison in Korea. But like, he's just, like, he's like even like more on board to just being chaos and a bastion of evil, so he says. I'm not gonna play the video, but don't support people like this. What is the I watch Bailey Sarian. What does she say? Like, pick better role models. Yes, pick better role models. Don't donate to this fool. Because it's just no. There's no excuse for his behavior. Just to be a menace in society. Don't be a menace. Try to be a good person. Be a good tourist. You know, like, enjoy the new world I mean, the new country that you're exploring, but don't become a menace to society. And I mean, if he'd done that in like somewhere like Singapore or somewhere else that had even more stricter laws, he'd probably he'd probably really like have a complete different outlook in life. I think is it Singapore that has like the really strict prison laws and are really like you don't want to mess with them, but I mean, I think is what happened is that he got away with so much in Japan, and Japanese are so polite. And then I think he just pretty much thought that he could do the same thing in Korea, but us Koreans have a little bit of a temper, and we don't mess around, and especially what he did. And if you're unaware, like, I can't remember all the stories. I do remember like the one. I think he was harassing like conveni employees in Korea, and then I think he was like, I'm not sure if he was like humping like a statue of like that's it was like a memorial to the sex slaves that were taken by the Japanese during World War II. But I'm not sure like all the other details and the finer details, but just don't be a menace to society. That's all I say. Be a good traveler. This is what to switch gears. You know, you always hear about like them testing cars, but I just never really thought about them testing airplanes. But I mean, it makes sense. You gotta test that thing before it, you know, have people board it. So yeah, the WH001 N779XW. I'm not really sure which one of those is. But this is from Boeing. It arrived in Clinton Sherman Airport in Oklahoma on March 11 for brake testing. And so yeah, it's a cool looking plane. I mean, Boeing, Boeing doing its job, hopefully. The other stories aren't too well. What's the other story? Oh, Southwest. I mean, we covered Southwest. Southwest is no longer doing free baggage. Amtrak had to come in with a snarky little like jab at them, and it's funny. I like Amtrak. I don't really get to go on Amtrak very often, but they posted on their, I think this is their Twitter account, and it says, "Guess we're only ones doing free baggage now," and that was pretty funny. I'm like, whomever at Amtrak came up with that is pretty funny. Though I mean, if you're gonna ask me personally, and let me know, chat, what you think. Like, I personally would go on airplanes, like for most trips, just because like the train takes a little bit longer. So I personally, and I just realized my stream is not public. It's just like a day of technology issues today. Just a tech issue day. Anyways, now it's public. So personally, I would always pick plane over train, but it doesn't mean that the train system. Oh no, Amtrak's okay. Amtrak's okay. One of my friends, she always does the overnight train because they bring their car. They load up their car, they head to Orlando for Disney World, then they load up their car. So it's like a good way to have their vehicle. I mean, one time I did look into that and it wasn't really that much. It was actually kind of expensive. But you don't have to pay for car rental, especially if you have kids. You know, they have their own car seats. You can pack all of your stuff. Like, just load up your car with everything you need on your vacation and just let the train take it down. So it's less, wear and tear on your car. And then unload your car and you have everything. So I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't really take the train. But now that I think about it, that's actually not a bad idea, especially now that we have like a kid. I mean, we've had a kid for a few years, but yeah, she is so excited about airplanes. Like, ever since our Norway trip, my dad would tell her, Mommy and Daddy went on an airplane. So they went somewhere and she has been obsessed with airplanes ever since. Like, she keeps asking, like, is Mommy, Daddy gonna go on an airplane? I'm like, no. But anyways, it's very cute. And when we went into DC last weekend, because they fly into Reagan, she saw some of the planes flying into Reagan when we were stuck on traffic, and she was so tickled. So I'm like, I'm glad that my future traveler is excited about airplanes, because airplanes excite me too, though not when they catch on fire. So if you haven't heard, American Airlines flight at Denver International Airport, it caught on fire. Apparently, they think the engine started to go up in flames. But I heard, oh yeah, here it is. So it took off from Colorado Springs Airport, was headed to Fort Worth, and it was diverted to DIA, and it was a Boeing 737-800, according to American Airlines. And apparently the pilot was like, oh no. Let's play it safe, and it went on fire, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's been a little rough this year. It's been rough for the airline industries. I mean, I felt like the Jeju plane crash, which wasn't this year, it was like late last year. I felt like that was going to be like the one big like aviation, like, accident, and then we'd be fine, because planes don't usually catch on fire or roll over or get hit by military helicopters, but this year has been completely just insane. And and of course, the next article I'm going to talk about, Delta and United have already reduced capacity because they feel like they've already seen the trends. They feel like less people are traveling via plane, and I guess domestic flight sales have gone down. International is still going strong. But I mean, it's like I can see, like I mean, yes, there's more plane crashes every day, but it's kind of like I think because when I think it's just bigger impact, more people like it's more international news when a plane goes down than say like, you know, a 5 car pileup in DC, which is unfortunate. Still, lives can be lost, but I mean, that's the fact of the matter. Like, when planes go down, it's just a bigger story. And I think it's just like also like the rate that everything's happening. It was like Jeju, then it was, Reagan, and then it was the Toronto, and just like, and then like, oh, the medical one that went down in, was it Jersey? It's just like, it's been just so many aviation accidents like in a succession that I think, and it's completely understandable why people are a little bit more reluctant to fly. I mean, to be frankly honest, and I mean, you could tell me in the chat, like if you had this experience too, like like when we were landing for Oslo, I like had a nervousness, because I was just like, oh my gosh, because if, oh, sorry, I was trying to get my chat back, I accidentally closed it out. It was like, you know, we felt the plane wobbling. I'm like, oh God. And I had just read the Toronto accident, and then boom, she pulled up and she made a turnaround, and the next time we landed safely. And I trust pilots. Like, they have much more experience than I do at flying. But, it's I mean, a lot of these accidents are just out of their control, you know. So I can definitely see why there is going to be a slower summer. I mean, you know, so I can see why Delta and United are already kind of consolidating flights over the summer. I don't know, do all these accidents have you nervous for flying? I mean, let me know in the chat. Because I mean, to be honest, like I still plan to travel. Like I have no changes in my schedule. Which is nothing right now because besides the May trip, and I'm still waiting for my husband to tell me that we're just waiting to buy our tickets for our May trip until his job lets him know if he made it in the course or not. Because if he does make it, he'll already be in Florida. If he doesn't make it, then we'll have to buy tickets for all three of us as opposed to just two of us. Well, also, I mean, I heard this story before, but I guess it's bears repeating, especially for you guys who like to fly with a carry-on. But it seems like American Airlines has been rumored to be revising their carry-on baggage policy. And one of the rumors is to really be strict about the carry-on policy. I mean, there's sometimes where I see someone like bringing in like a bag that I'm like, is that really a carry-on? Like, especially like those really crazy book bags where it's like it's like over the person's head and it's like down to their knees, and I'm like, how is that a carry-on? Like, so apparently they are going to be a little bit more stricter. So right now you get a personal item and a carry-on, and I have pushed the boundaries with the personal item. Sometimes my personal item is like is my book bag, and I have had a carry-on too. But I guess they might. So we'll see in a few months. So if you are on American, you might want to look at your carry-on size. So I guess Delta and WestJet, which I don't really know about WestJet. I've never flown them. I guess they're also making changes to their policy. I just don't want to pay for my carry-on. I mean, I feel like yours should be allowed that free carry-on. I mean, I know Spirit and Frontier make you pay, but I mean, I can see like if you are bringing like a bag that's bigger than your body, I think, you should check that in. But that's just my opinion. My last story of the day, Korean Air. They made some huge changes. Oh, I forgot one story. Shoot. let me do one more story. I had it pulled, and it's about Air Canada. They're introducing a new kaiseki cuisine to all Canada to Japan routes. So, yeah, it looks good. I've never flown Air Canada. My dad has flown Air Canada a few times to Korea. He pretty much says he's like, they're okay. His biggest thing is that they are always late. And he's like, you just kind of have to make sure that, like, I guess they are also notorious for like rescheduling flights. So yeah, but I haven't tried Air Canada yet. Usually they are the cheapest to go to Japan, in our area, but I've usually gone, I, you know, last year I went with United because they had the non-stop option. But maybe I'll try Air Canada if I don't mind being late. But okay, the last story is Korean Air. Korean Air's new look, OMG, I don't like it. Like, it looks so boring. Oh, can I add? I always forget to add stuff, and I always forget how to do that. Oh, is this the browser? No, I don't know how to do it. So I'm not gonna try. I need to learn more about OBS, and so I can like bring in these new stories. But it just looks boring. I don't know, like I like the old design. Like the old design looks so Korean, and now it just looks like anything else. It just looks like squiggle, and for like I'm pulling up the old design real quick. Yeah, the old design, it was Korean Air, had the yin and the yang, and is very bright and colorful. I mean, it's not bright and colorful, it's like blue, red, and white and blue. But I don't know, it just looks so dull. It's just Korean. I'm like, okay, Korean. Korean what? Korean potatoes? Korean... I mean, I understand that it's on the side of an airplane, but still, it looks a little boring. But I just wish, like, I do want to fly Korean eventually, but I don't even know how many, like, I know that they're major, like, my parents used to have a Korean airline credit card, and they would get free flights because they would just pay it off and accumulate the points. But my dad was like, it's kind of annoying because for you to redeem those tickets, you'd have to pay, like, a service fee, and then, like, you'd have to fly out of, like, Atlanta. And so, living in North Carolina, going to Atlanta just to redeem your free ticket just kind of was limiting. So I think he got rid of that. But it just looks so boring. I mean, yeah, it's a boring design. I don't really like it, but let me know. Do you like the new Korean Air design? I think it just looks so boring. But anyways, guys, that will be it. I'm glad that my headache went away. Like, I had a headache a little bit before I started the last stream that ended in no audio. But I will talk to you guys. I'm actually might ask my work if I can go into the office Monday and Wednesdays. So that might mean adjusting my live stream schedule again, but I haven't even asked, and she might say no. So who knows? I'm trying to vlog, publish a video of some sorts every single day. So far we've succeeded, though yesterday was a little hairy because I had nothing, so I just made a short. But yeah, so please like more of my stuff. I'm going to go over my week 2 update tomorrow. I'm actually going to shoot it now. But yes, so like, subscribe, join future videos, and I'll talk to you guys next time.